Kubernetes Dashboard UI was able to provide you ample amount of information on all the Kubernetes objects which you create, all the Kubernetes resources, and many times it also provides ample amount of information on its observability as well, wherein you can get CPU usage, memory usage, and all necessary information which is needed for us to declare Kubernetes nodes, Kubernetes cluster as the healthy one. But now, unfortunately, it has declared its retirement. Let's first understand why it has declared its retirement. It has declared its retirement because this project is now archived and no longer could be maintained due to lack of active maintainer and contributors. What happens basically whenever any open source project do not get active maintainers is the reason behind Kubernetes dashboard has declared its retirement. When this Kubernetes dashboard was brought in as an open source project, it had plenty of contributors. Approximately 375 contributors were there. But many of them perhaps would have used this Kubernetes dashboard UI just to crack their interviews, as they came and contributed sometimes to get some their name highlighted, and perhaps would have put it in their resume, got the job and forgot to update it back, forgot to act as a contributor back. So being a contributor does not only mean that you come, you just contribute once and forget about it. Being a contributor means like the way you work in your organization. Spend some time every day. Try to look into the issues, bugs, which community or which consumers, users are raising, and try to help and try helping resolving it. This was not happening with Kubernetes dashboard UI, because of which it had to declare its retirement. But a question will come in case if it has declared its retirement, is it there any replacement? Is there any other tool which we can use quite similar the way we have used Kubernetes dashboard UI? So yes, there is other tool as well, which is Headlamp. So Headlamp is going to play same sort of activity, is going to provide same sort of feature like Kubernetes UI. This Headlamp is moved under SIG UI. So SIG UI is the special type of community, special type of group which Kubernetes maintains. SIG stands for Special Interest Group. So this headlamp has been moved into SIG so that there will be active supporters, or there will be active maintainers every time who will be managing this headlamp, who will be taking ownership of any of the bugs, risks, or issues which has been raised by users while using headlamp. Now, why Kubernetes dashboard did not move and why headlamp has been moved into SIG UI community, it's altogether a different discussion, which we can certainly talk about at some later point of time. Please put in comments in case if you want to know about why Kubernetes dashboard UI did not and why Headlamp UI moved to SIG UI community. I'll certainly talk about that also. So now since Headlamp moved to into SIG UI, certainly there will be many users, certainly there will be many maintainers who will be answering, who will be responding to any of the queries which gets raised. So in our today's discussion, we'll see a small demo on how to configure Headlamp, how to set up Headlamp UI, and how Headlamp UI looks like. In order to do that, the first thing which I'll do is I'll set up one UI for one Kubernetes cluster for our demo. In order to set up Kubernetes cluster for our demo, what I'll do is I'll use Kind, because Kind is, I prefer using Kind as the tool to set up Kubernetes cluster in my dashboard. You can, in my local, you can use EKS also as a cloud hosted Kubernetes platform. Now, in order to launch Kubernetes cluster using Kind, it's very easy. And within a minute, you will be able to launch a Kubernetes cluster. The command is kind create kind create cluster and give the name of the cluster. So I'll say my demo Headlamp as the cluster name. So now as I do that, within a minute, I'll be able to launch my Kubernetes cluster. So it will be launched. And as I said, I prefer using kind a lot because within a minute, it will be able to create Kubernetes cluster for me. And this will be very similar the way you create Kubernetes cluster in AKS or EKS or any other cloud platform. I have certain documentation also, which I have created on how to set up this headlamp, but I'll be able to share those in our video link. Just provide in case if you need those documents, just write a message there in the comment section so that I'll be able to share that with you separately. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to refer the documentation which I have created for working on for setting up headlamp and headlamp UI. So now the first command which I'm going to execute is this to set up headlamp UI. After Kubernetes cluster is created by using kind, this will be the first command which will be executing to set up headlamp UI. Hit enter. As you hit enter, what it says that headlamp is created. Now this has been created there in kube system namespace. Why it has been created in kube system namespace? This is because you don't create normal pods there in kube system namespace. Kube system namespace is used to create some Kubernetes managed pods. So now if you execute the command kubectl get pods hyphen n cube system, then you will be able to see some headlamp pod which is creating at this point. It did not start yet. It is just starting, and within few seconds you'll see it started running now. Now headlamp pod is running for last 41 seconds. Now once this is done, next thing which you can do is you will be able to just create some service account. You can do this also. You will be able to create service account, and then you will be able to generate the token for your service account. Let's do that also. Let's create a service account, and the name of the service account which you'll be using to which I'll be using in this demo is headlamp admin. Let's use it. So now I have created a service account. Next thing will be to provide admin permissions. This you can do, you cannot do. It doesn't matter much. Important thing will be to generate a login token. You will understand in few minutes when I'm going to show you the headlamp UI dashboard, which will be accessed on the browser. At that time, you will understand why this token is important. So for now, let's just copy this and paste this command here. Now it has generated a token. It is going to act as a password for our first time login to Headlamp UI. So now once the Headlamp UI will be is configured, post that we have to do some sort of setup. So this token will be used as a first time login, first time password to the Headlamp UI. Now let's just do the port forwarding so that I'll be able to access this headlamp UI on my machine itself. In order to do port forwarding, let's execute the last kubectl command. So just three commands and it's enough for you to host your headlamp UI on the browser, on your local machine's browser. So now in order to access, what I have to do is I have to just use localhost localhost colon 8080. And as I do that, it has opened one UI, but it is asking me a one token. Now this is the token which you have generated. Copy this token from here and use this token as the authentication token. And now you authenticate it. As you authenticate it, it says that it takes few minutes because it says that you don't have permission to this resource, and that is where this admin permissions will play a vital role. So now let's give the admin permissions also to it. I'll have to stop this port forwarding to just give this authentication to this admin privileges to the token to the service account which I've generated. And again, let's start this post port forwarding. And as port forwarding starts, Now you see, I'm able to see this. Let me just refresh the page. And as I refresh the page, you see, I am able to see everything. I'm able to see CPU utilization, memory, pods, nodes. This pod says that out of 10 pod is in running state. This says one node, as of now, my cluster is having only one node. If I execute kubectl command here, then I'll be able to see that the active the number of node which is present in cluster at this point is only one, and out of one is ready. So now you see, this is giving me observability, as well as on this dashboard I'll be able to see everything. I'll be able to see namespace, nodes, all the thing which you want to see. Everything you will be able to see on your dashboard itself, on your headlamp UI itself. Isn't this interesting? This UI will give you entire overview of your Kubernetes cluster. This could be a good replacement for your Kubernetes dashboard UI. Though Kubernetes dashboard UI, like the way had to decommission because of not that active maintenance which was needed for this Kubernetes dashboard UI to maintain properly. But since Headlamp is a part of SIG, this will certainly will have active maintainers who will be continuously supporting you to resolve your issues and queries. Thank you for watching this videos. If you feel as if this video has helped you in some or the others, subscribe the channel and forward this video to someone who could be helpful with this. Thank you everyone for watching.